Hi, I'm Alan Kraut from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, part-time poker player, and I'm a regular on the circuit on the East Coast. Just got back into playing this past spring and plan to grind the circuit for quite a while going forward. Okay. Married, have 2 daughters, both in college, and I've been playing poker dating back about 10 years. Started playing here in Atlantic City. The Borgata was my home casino for a real long time. Yeah, it was at the beginning. It was, a novelty. I watched rounders like everybody else and saw Chris Moneymaker win the World Series and got very intrigued and came down here, and there were good people down here, and really started to enjoy myself and have some success. I thought it somewhat early on, but didn't seriously pursue it for a good number of years. I owned some businesses and had a family. I was raising my kids, and it just wasn't practical. Plus, I live a couple of hours away from Atlantic City, so there was really nowhere to play. That's actually how I got into online poker. It kind of killed the time in between live events, but it wasn't until recently again that I decided to really make a much more serious go of it. When online was still around, I would come and grind the Borgata events and a few other events here or there, but mainly the Borgata series. They have the best series around and have for many, many years. But in between, at the time, Borgata only had like 3 or 4 series, so I was pretty tied up with online in between the Borgata series. Basically, I was playing a lot online and really getting into the tournaments, and was working on my game a lot, and I got involved in a challenge through one of the online forums, and it was a draft challenge, and I wound up taking MVP of that draft when all was said and done. And one of the guys that I played against a lot, who was on an opposing team, was Sean Deeb. And after the challenge was over, I kind of knew there was something missing in my game. I was a winning player, successful player, but not a highly successful player. I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I approached Sean and asked him if he'd be interested in doing some coaching, and he had never done any coaching before, and he agreed right away. I mean, he was impressed with me and the challenge, and he was turning into a major superstar at the time, and I thought, why not approach the best? And I really had a lot of respect for Sean's game, and he agreed, and actually we met for the first time here at Borgata probably about 4 years ago. We shared a room, and that's where the coaching started, and he coached me for quite a while, and it really made a world of difference in my game. I mean, he's a world-class player, and can't say enough about him. Yeah, there's no doubt that without his tutelage, I wouldn't be where I am. I mean, he got me to think about the game in different ways, and like I said, he's just a world-class player, and just being able to see how he managed situations, it was just so insightful for me, because I didn't have that window of opportunity, and it's made a world of difference. Yeah, when the online went away, when Black Friday happened, I had actually stopped playing a little bit prior to that, so it wasn't that devastating to me. It was kind of nice knowing it was there, because I felt I'd be coming back to it, but I was real busy with my personal life and businesses and my kids, and when it went away, it just made it easy for me. And I actually took a sabbatical from poker. I was away for 2.5 years, and didn't really come back until a little over a year ago. And I came back recreationally, and started to really have a lot of success, and I was treating the game a lot differently than I had in the past, and I was able to dedicate myself more to the game than I had been able to before. My kids were grown up now, and my responsibilities at home weren't the same that they used to be, and really made a big difference. The mental freedom of not being at home when you're at the poker table was a big difference for me, and I think that I started grinding the tournaments back in April when Parks had a series of WPT Regional and had some success there, and I just decided from there that I'm not going to miss any East Coast series, and I'm going to grind the circuit. First, let me go back. One of the reasons that I stopped playing live, I didn't handle beats well, and one of maybe my last live tournament was the only WPT main that I had played to that point, which was here at Borgata in '09. It was the one that Olivier Bousquet won. And we were real deep in the tournament, under 100 players, I think about 9 tables left or so, and I got involved in a real big pot against Kenny Wynn, Superton, and we got it all in pre-flop. I had kings against his queens, and there was a queen in the window, and I took a real bad beat in that pot, and it stayed with me for a real long time. And I think that that's one of the things that led me to walk away. And during the 2.5 years or so that I was away from it, I constantly thought about poker, and I knew I'd be coming back to it, and I did watch it on TV, and I really think that the time away, just thinking about the game, improved my thought process a lot. I thought a lot about what Sean had taught me, and being able to think about it rather than doing it actually helped me more, because I was able to envision plays that I'd be making and spots that would come up, and now that they're happening, I'm prepared. I think you have to be mentally prepared. I think you have to be well financed. I think playing on scared money is a recipe for disaster. It's mental preparation. You really need to be mentally prepared to grind these things, and a lot of people don't realize what's involved in it. Playing tournaments for 3, 4, 5 straight days, it takes its toll on you. And I just think that if it's something that somebody really wants to do, they should go after it, as long as they're able to, playing within their means. I think that's important. And from Deeb, I mean, he just basically told me to let go of the results. The results are going to come, and just concentrate on making the right plays and improving your game, and walking away from every tournament feeling like you played as well as you could. And don't dwell on the results, because they'll shake themselves out. And back in the early years, Tab, who's the tournament director here, was always super nice to me and super supportive, and still is to this day. And he's just worthy of a mention here, that he's just the best at what he does, and he runs a great series, and he's a really good guy, and I can't say enough good things about him. I mean, and he really meant a lot to me back in the early years when when I wasn't sure about stuff, and he was very supportive and encouraged me to keep going, and it was good. He helped make Borgata feel like home.